the open and the intro.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in WWE. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, R to the B to the V, and we are live on Hamin Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, on the Patreon after the fact. Rick, welcome back to your show. And what a ride I think we're on for the go-home show of Raw to WrestleMania and, of course, SmackDown.
Well, I said we're back for This Week in WWE, but it's not just another week here in the squared circle for the biggest promotion in the world, Jimmy. It is that week on the final home stretch to WrestleMania. We're ready to head out to the desert to the Sin City itself, Las Vegas, second time around. So double down, as you said, man. Well, we are just a couple days away. You would have thought just to go home from Raw. I think, last week on SmackDown, we saw that go home because really Friday night kicks off a bunch of those big festivities. We're going to be talking about. We've got it really starts right here, right now, this week at WWE. We got the big Thursday Talking Heads roundtable to run through the card. We got all the coverage coming up this weekend, top to bottom, all of the specials, the watch-alongs, the breakdowns. We're going to be busy. Jimmy, I want to start off today. And I know a lot of people, they're buzzing. They're trying to get ready. This is really our Super Bowl, our World Series, our NBA Finals, our Final Four, Frozen Fours, Christmas, Easter, all rolled into one. How are you feeling here for WrestleMania week?
I'm kind of pumped now that we're getting really close to it. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this week is kind of building to the biggest, event of them all when it comes to professional wrestling. I'm actually looking forward to it. Sure, the lead-ins, for most weeks haven't been that great, but I guess the last 2 weeks they've been pushing. And I've got a lot to say about that because there's a few people out there that want to shit on Punk, and I'll get to it when we get there. Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
All right, that's a teaser, ladies and gentlemen. You want to stick around throughout the show. We're going to be talking about all the go-home stuff there, Jimmy, but absolutely, brother.
That is a teaser, absolutely. But you're going to have to hold on and stay tuned before I speak about that. But I'm feeling pretty good, man, because come Mania, I think we'll be all right, and we'll pretty much, I think we'll enjoy the show, put it that way.
It's funny, like 2 weeks ago is really what triggered it for me when I started getting really excited about this year's WrestleMania. And I'll tell you what did it. It was the time, the moment. It's when Pat McAfee showed up on SmackDown and they just kicked, punt it, Cody Rhodes right there in his biracial baby maker. And to me, that set it off. And it's not. I know some people are like, "Oh my God, RBV!" So many people hate the angle, hate his involvement, but it wasn't necessarily Pat McAfee himself. It wasn't his actions. It wasn't his say message, but it was how it triggered the audience. This is when you saw your social media feed blowing up, top to bottom.
Right.
This is when, for better or worse, love or hate it created an energy. People started getting excited. And for us in a podcast game, that's absolutely what we want, especially as we are dedicated to sit down here each and every Tuesday and talk some WWE, 3 p.m. Eastern here on the Hamin Media Group platform. So that's what really got me going. So, and then again, this is a major holiday for us. We come together with old friends. You start talking about great memories, all that. You start looking forward to it. Also, kind of funny. You think right now, it seems that the positive excitement level might be down this year. But think about last year. It was probably not as high as in decades before that, because everybody was so excited going into last year's WrestleMania with the John Cena heel turn. Are we going to get a new NWO, a new corporation? What's The Rock's role going to be? And by the end of the weekend, we were so disappointed. We were deflated, and they completely botched last year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So now, maybe now that the bar is set a little low, they come in showtime and deliver. And when you look at this lineup, I think it absolutely can do that.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you. I mean, if you look at the card as a whole, it is stacked. Like, really, it really is. It truly is. And it's funny how you brought up last year. I remember it like it was yesterday. As a matter of fact, you and I got pretty pissed after doing the watch along, to the point where, like, you know what, screw doing the review. We'll wait a couple of days or whatever when we did do the night 2 review, particularly because it left a bad taste in our mouths the way night 2 ended, especially. But I think this year, like you said, with WB hasn't been on such a momentum swing right now. They're kind of on the downer, should I say. Momentum's not high. I don't know if morale is high, but you'd think morale should be picking up, right? Coming to, towards Mania. But now that we don't expect it to be anything, I think you're right. I think it's got potential to actually be great, to the point where we're going to be talking about it. But let's hope that's how it's going to be. Otherwise, we'll be utterly disappointed. Yo, what's up, artist? He says, greetings all.
I was going to say, with that.
You're breaking up, Rick. I couldn't hear you there for a moment.
I don't know what's going on in here. We're all here with it here. I know you were trying to read artists talking about Obo there. I just paused for a minute. I thought you were going to read his comment there a little bit.
Well, yeah.
On our side, but I don't think that this build is as bad as most people as they do. And we're going to talk. We're going to talk about these final builds as we get into this week's show. So a little bit of different format is it's kind of that go home feel. These last 2 shows for the blue brand and the red brand. But Jimmy, hey, we've got a little crossover Stardom news, not Stardom the promotion, but crossing over outside of the squared circle, and she's making some. Well, I'll get your opinion. I'm guessing you think this is some sweet, sweet music. You probably been up all night jamming to Liv Morgan's new music video. Here Comes Trouble. It was called or something like that. Something with trouble.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's called Trouble. And I'm not going to lie, my ears were bleeding a little bit after listening to it. As a matter of fact, I first listened to it when I was talking to you about it. About 5 minutes later, I never heard the song yet. Yesterday, the day before, I played it and I saw it on Raw, so I don't even know why I ended up playing it anyway, because they showed it for us anyway. But I don't know, dude. It seems it gives me Britney Spears vibes a little bit. If you get where I'm coming from, like I don't know, man. I'm not sure if I dig it. I don't know if she can sing, bro. Straight up. There you go. I said it.
Well, no, it absolutely. I kind of got that energy, like the early 2000 Britney Spears energy, with the background dancers, even the chair shots. It really had that energy with it. And hey, you're the guy. You do a lot of our effects, so that we can avoid getting strikes here on the channel. I think throughout the entire song, through that entire song, we didn't hear her real voice. That was all like generated, correct?
What?
No, it all had it all had like a filter over it. That was not
she
actual
definitely,
singing.
definitely. Right, no, she definitely had a filter over her voice. I thought for a minute you were going to tell me that was all AI, and I'm like, what? Nah. But no, she had a filter, and she probably can't even. I mean, where did this idea come from? Like, who made her do this? Was it her idea?
Well, no, you're working with TKO. You've got those bigger agents. Right. You've got ties into other areas in Hollywood. Remember last year she took off to go film. She's done some acting things so she's looking to branch out. And as you said, though, she kind of got that Britney vibe. Here's a pedo spank bank of age that we can get away with, that the guys love. They pot over her. So let's go see if we can go recreate that if there's any kind of interest. I actually think, since it released yesterday, she's putting up some great numbers on downloads in that.
Well, funny enough, like I said, I listened to it just before we went on the air, and I can safely say she's up to 527,000 plays on YouTube after one day. Is that great? I think it is for someone like Liv Morgan.
Well, I'm looking at the other outlets where you can download the different things. They were pounding their chest, bragging about it last night. We don't know about the YouTube if those are bot buys, but hey, it seems to be generating a buzz. As Lamrat saying here, could we potentially get a live performance at WrestleMania? I know. I think he's absolutely. If you've invested in this, you're marketing this thing. I wouldn't say like make it a standalone, but incorporate this new song, the dancing style that we were talking about, that 2000s pop queen, pop princess style in her entrance.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was actually going to suggest, why not have it as an entrance theme? I mean, why not? It would work. It could promote the song that way. But we'll see if they do that, especially.
No, that's the reason. That's the reason they created that. That's the direction that they're going in with this. So it's going to be, I guess, her new entrance, and it's kind of like a Shawn Michaels, when he did, his entrance song. So this will kind of be that new thing.
But at least with Shawn Michaels thing, it was more taking the piss, and he wasn't serious per se. Whereas Liv Morgan, this film clip comes across like she legitimately is in the music industry suddenly. It feels like it's done well, but like we're saying, it gives me that early 2000s Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera type of vibes. Even the dancing, even the dances with the dudes with their tops off. Like, it's so 22, 23 years ago, Rick.
I don't know. What do you mean Shawn Michaels wasn't taking that serious? I mean, that song helped generate a ton of his heat. It was like one of the number one songs at the WWE album.
No,
that
you're
was
right.
The main reason that character got over.
For sure. But I prefer the Sherry version.
And it plays into him going right there to pose for Playboy.
I couldn't believe that, bro. At the time.
They both work there, but when he loses Sherry.
Yeah, but Sherry's version was good. I actually liked Sherry's version. But the fact that he was in Playboy, though, or Playgirl, shall we call it, was kind of crazy because I remember it. I never bought it, by the way. I know someone that did buy it, and they're not gay. I'm not going to mention their names, but
yeah, right.
They did. No, because they were a big Shawn Michaels fan, just quietly. So they bought it. And you know what? If they've still got it, that would be worth a lot of money. I'm telling you, dude. If anyone's still got that magazine, I guarantee you that would sell for big bucks.
Hey, Liv Morgan also making some big news here this afternoon with she went meme crazy here this past weekend. So she was yelling at Stephanie, man. She was going crazy at Stephanie. So, Jimmy, let me ask you here. What is Liv putting in that bit? What's she putting in that mouth? Oh, how about that? Hashtag Fitzy style. Hashtag God's chili. How about a big old Cincinnati style cheese coney? Liv is hungry for that, baby.
Oh,
in honor of Dirty Dom and it being Taco Tuesday, we got another one. She was chowing down, man. She's got that hashtag RBV eats going on here. What's Liv got? Oh, Taco Tuesday, ready to go. Hey, keep feeding Liv more tacos throughout the show here today. Any super chats that we get, Liv's going to get some tacos. She loves them tacos. Taco Tuesday super chats. We got them going on here this afternoon here on This Week in WWE. Hey, speaking of tacos, Jimmy, I guess I should probably get my borderline racist rants out of the way here. But speaking of tacos, hey, we got something special happening south of the border, brother. Some big developments in WWE, not exactly pertaining to WrestleMania, but this past weekend, we're finally going to get it. The long await is over. It is time to, well, only one can stand. Only one will emerge. There will only be one Americana, whichever the hell way it goes there. The original versus the second one. It has been announced that it's going to be mask versus mask coming up in AAA. It is crazy how big this is down there, Jimmy. Your thoughts from what transpired this week? Both Americano Grandes just tearing each other apart there on the live AAA show this past Friday. Crowd, they got celebrities involved. They went around that arena. They were fighting through other matches. I mean, this is big business down there for AAA.
And it's the right place to do it, if anything, like, you know, to do a leading with all that. Hey, man, I'm pumped, but I feel like they could have done it a little better. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be great. But I think it was Jago that said it on Hitting the Marks, which you can check out after this show. 2 hours after this show finishes with Rick and Michael Jago, of course. And you guys were talking about how I think Jago was saying how he wishes they were both wrestling as themselves, like instead of just being Grande Americano all the time. Because at the end of the day, where is Kaiser right now, right? I know we're playing dumb. Who am I talking about? Come on, peeps. You know who he is. But so Kaiser has disappeared now while he's Grande Americano, and same with the other guy. Like, come on. Like, is he just gone missing? Like, where is Kaiser right now? I'm talking about kayfabe wise. Like, what's he doing? Where's he been this whole time?
First, as artist says, Americana showed how to brawl in a show. That was absolutely beautiful how they handled it. Such intensity, crowd ate up. It had great outside involvement to draw those extra eyes on to the importance of what was happening between them. Masterfully done. Kudos to Michelle McCool's husband and that entire team down there at AAA that put that together, and especially the towns. But you talk about where are the other two guys? You know what? Without the Americanos, no one would even be asking anything about where they're at. And it is lucha style. Is in true tradition. You don't remove your mask for anything. So you commit to the bit. You're not sitting there playing Clark Kent and Superman. You are going all in on Superman here. That's what this is about.
I actually wish they did play Clark Kent, where they, you know, if there's trouble, if one of them's a babyface, one's a heel, whatever, the babyface could jump into a freaking phone booth somewhere, if they even exist anymore, which they don't really. But make a makeshift one at the very least. Turn into freaking Grande Americano and be the hero, man. Let him get all the chicks, bro. He can save divas. He can save everything.
This is the one about embracing that character and that tradition. That's what Chad Gable was doing that earlier on, where he was going back and forth, you know, where he didn't know who was, you know, where he was playing that off the Clark Kent to Superman sort of style. But now it is all about buying it. And the reason that this thing has gotten over like gangbusters, the reason that it is the sensation that it is south of the border is because of the commitment to the bit. Commit to the bit is what Grande has done. You know, what
one the
talk. Proper was doing that, and now our second version of this, there will only be one when it's all said and done, but the commitment to it, to learn to speak the language, to know the traditions, to iterate into their society. We don't need them splitting the time with that. Nah, I'm okay exactly how they've done this. Been great build in AAA. It is crazy how over it is there. Completely. But here's, you know, you would kind of think on the surface, so a lot of fans are saying this, like, man, this should have been at WrestleMania. No, they're doing it at the right place because it's going to be truly appreciated in 100%. AAA. They understand what it's about and how it's been presented. You know, how we've seen it on Raw and SmackDown on WWE TV has been absolutely abysmal. It's been an embarrassment to what they've done with it in AAA.
100%. That was probably a test as well to see how the fans are going to react to it and whatnot. Well, I'm sorry, peeps. We failed miserably. Big time. So I think Mexico is the right place to do it. AAA, right setting, right place. everyone's into it over there compared to, in our worlds. So no, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. That is the right, and it feels different. When they're doing stuff over there with this, it feels like a bigger deal than anything they do on WWE television.
Well, and it's, as Art said, American characters are bland. Well, that's because I think that's a continuation of, and I'm actually going to blame WWE for this. And we talked about this when they acquired AAA. That is a lack of understanding from the sports entertainment typical North American fan, Western wrestling fans. We don't understand the nuances, the traditions, how lucha libre works. It is very different from what we're used to with sports entertainment. Now, I love that first one that they did when they ran it out. They had Conan on the commentary, and he made a point to come out and say, hey, I'm going to try to help you guys. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to guide you and let you know some of this is going to look very different than what you're used to, but I'm going to tell you why and how it works. I really enjoyed that. And I think there is a great market for that style of wrestling in the States, but it needs to be explained. We're going to need to be taught that, which I am so happy that they didn't just kind of roll this thing out at WrestleMania, just hoping to get over, because it would have got lost on that audience. Now, I do wish that they would take more time during the show to let us know about Lucha Libre, to promote the AAA show on Friday. We are starting to see that increase a little bit more, but this isn't like a partnership with TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. This is your property. You own this brand. So let's cultivate, let's grow that crop and grow that audience for it. Speaking of hot done, I think, maybe someone that could be a great gatekeeper that could build that bridge, who is super hot, super over on the red brand, super hot in Mexico. And that's Penta. And he also just went South Border on this same show, was defending the Intercontinental Championship. He took on Vikingo, Lucha Libre style. These two went down there and blew the roof off the place.
Wow, that's cool. And I remember I saw the advertisement for that, man. I mean, I'm getting told, people are starting to say that the AAA shows are very underrated, Rick. And maybe we should be paying attention more. Well, me especially should be paying attention to it more often than not. And I want to, man. There's just so much wrestling, but I think I want to just see how it goes, and I think I'm going to watch it. But it's killing it right now, man, as far as in Mexico goes. And didn't they get a new TV deal in the US?
I think I think it's CML is going to be. They've just signed.
I think you're right. It was CML now. You're right. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, but we had Pento and Vikingo, poor Vikingo down there. He was supposed to be that chosen baby there, but he goes down there and now turned into one of the just naturally getting that heat down there. His manager Dorian tried to get a distraction there. We're gonna kind of cheat. Things go awry. Even had the Americanos fighting around this thing, but Penta takes advantage of it. He hits the Mexican Destroyer, retains the title, and he's going to take all that momentum into WrestleMania for a big showdown. He's going in as the champ into a Demolition Derby ladder match, going to be featured on ESPN. That's going to be night 2 with Lesnar and Oba. That's a big spotlight for all those guys. Very, very cool. It would have been nice too if we could have got this to help with that AAA brand. I don't know if this is still a thing. I could be completely off. Try to help me, but ESPN Deportes should have been carrying. Do like the Spanish version each night for these WrestleManias.
That's still around, isn't it? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. Well, was there a chance that it's not around anymore? I could have sworn I heard about it not too long ago again. But that would be perfect.
They might. Hey, do you know who else loves AAA Lucha Libre?
Who else?
Liv Morgan. Taco Tuesday. She absolutely loves it. Well, Jimmy, let's switch some gears here. Let's jump in because we got a lot to cover.
Before you switch, I just wanted to say one thing to you, Rick. Have you not got RBV eats on the side of that taco, dude?
Oh, we got to get that press into the show, man.
Thank me later.
And RBV eats out. It's not pictured. That's where we're going there on Live. We're going south of the border. That's where we're going.
Literally.
Yeah. That's absolutely where we're going. So we are going to mix it up here a little bit with the show review style, and that absolutely going to jump into it segment by the segments, how we break them down. We don't do the segment by segment anyway here, but this really here, 2 weeks for last week's SmackDown feels like a go-home show. Last night's Raw, go-home show. Very heavy on the talking segments, just to kind of set things up, to make sure, protect people, to make sure that no one's getting injured as we go into this Friday. I mean, this Friday night essentially kicks off the WrestleMania weekend. We've got, remember everybody out there, going to air on ESPN or ESPN2, 5 p.m. this Friday. Michael Cole's going to be on there. He's hosting a panel. It's going to be the WrestleMania weekend kickoff special that they're going to air this Friday. Of course, that's going to roll into SmackDown, 8 p.m. Eastern time here, USA Network. You also have later that night, midnight Eastern start time, the Hall of Fame.
Midnight, fuck.
Eastern
you know
time.
What that means?
Or hold on, is it Eastern that they're starting at, or is it local? It's
Eastern.
Yeah, so
because they'll be going on at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever, like on the West Coast.
Yeah, 3 hours. So it is a late one, but we got a full slate of activity on Friday, and of course, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, WrestleMania gets going 6 p.m. Eastern on the different ESPN platforms into the apps. But Jimmy, SmackDown, they're looking towards the desert. They're looking towards the Strip in Vegas. They were coming to us from San Jose, right? San Jose, home of the
yes,
Shark.
Yes, it was, because Meltzer was there too, which is his hometown, funny enough. So yeah, they were in San Jose for SmackDown.
Yeah, a lot of hometowners on the roster here for the Blue Brand. But probably one of the biggest happenings, and it doesn't particularly pertain to WrestleMania, but the San Jose audience this week, SmackDown, they get the big debut, in-ring debut of Danhausen. He defeats Kit Wilson with a little pyro magic, big pop across the arena. If you saw on Raw, a lot of people have already talking about Danhausen. He is undefeated. A lot of people are referring to him as a future Hall of Famer, as the new GOAT of professional wrestling. Let me ask you this though, Jeffy. First, did you enjoy the moment? What did you think of the moment there?
Honestly,
and was this the right spot to do this on SmackDown?
I hate the fact that Kit Kat lost to Danhausen straight up. I'm not gonna lie. I just
why? Okay, go ahead. I'll let you.
Look, man, do we need to see him wrestle? Really? Did it have to be that? I mean, cool. He doesn't look like a friggin' wrestler, dude. Like with his weird body shape that he's got, he's a surfboard. I mean, I love Danhausen, don't get me wrong. But I don't need to see him wrestle, and especially beating,
What kind of surfboard do you have that walks like this? It walks like an old person. Yes,
it's very straight and very even.
I have scoliosis. Yes, give me your money.
I've got scoliosis. I am Triple H. I can see him doing something like that in the future. But in saying that, it was fun. But I just don't want to see him wrestling ever again. Not unless it's for a real reason. Have him once a blue moon wrestle, but make it like a high profile match. If you can even get one out of him, that's a high profile match. If you get my drift.
No, you hit it right there. You said high profile, but I think you're giving it the wrong emphasis for high profile. To me, the match was great. Danhausen doesn't need to look like a wrestler because he's nothing like a wrestler. He's something different. He's that mystic weirdo little being that doesn't belong. He doesn't belong there, so it works. My issue is that we wasted this in San Jose on SmackDown.
Right, that's who.
This moment right here. And I know some people are like, oh my God, you're going to tell me when someone like Asuka or Io, they don't have a spot, or Tiffany doesn't have a spot on this card.
Those people need to
You're going to make room. You're going to make room for Danhausen? Yeah, because guess what? Danhausen moves numbers. Danhausen is the number one merchandise seller in the company. Danhausen is producing social media hits. Yes, he is crazy big on all of them, on that complete front, and that's what he's there for. So even like the pyro magic, which was a big pop, it was a comedy spot. My problem is this should have happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just seeing our very own opinion having himself. The vet saying your boyfriend Dom don't look like a wrestler either. I know you're talking to me, aren't you, vet? but what I mean by that though, when I was talking about Danhausen, ironically on my YouTube feed, a Danhausen match from AEW came up, and it was him when he was like, it was like a real demon version, like he was angry, bro. Like his face was different. It was like this, like you know those. It was like this. He's coming out like that, and I kid you not, he German suplexed about 8 guys in that ring, dude. He was doing a wrestling clinic and then pinned whoever it was. I can't remember who it was. 1, 2, 3, and cleaned house, dude. He looked impressive in that match compared to, for example, to his WWE debut match. But in saying that, he was angry though. So there was like a real
the AEW was the wrong version.
Right, that's true. I agree.
The reason he fizzled out so quick at AEW is because they didn't know how to book him. They didn't know how to handle him. This is the right spot. This is how you use him in a match, but it was the wrong time. This would have been such a more significant moment, such more eyes of the product, been more talked about. Had this been like an impromptu match, what they regularly do, they bring the host out. You should have had John Cena out there as the guest referee for this thing. Danhausen comes out to interact with him, the Invisible Man. They've got some stuff there. They're good. I'm looking forward to those two interacting at WrestleMania. Then you have Kit come out and talk about how they're both toxic and they're both bad. And we get an impromptu, fun 5-minute match where they do the pyro spot. John hits the 3 count. And you've got Danhausen and them. Maybe they're doing, I don't, you can't see me in the lights go out, and Cena can't even see him. He's gone. He missed the opportunity.
It's a good idea. That's a good point too, because it plays into Danhausen's character completely.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to recapture that, to reenact what they did the other night. Obviously not with a top rope spot, but you'll see something, but involving The Miz, because he did escape from The Miz on SmackDown. But
surely there's going to be a payoff to that, and why not do it at Mania? Why not? And I can see it being an impromptu match too. It's not going to be announced, or it's just going to happen like The Rock and the Wyatts, if you remember a few years back. I can see something like that happening. Sort of right, no,
something
for sure.
Fun, something for social media, something that's going to get people talking. Also coming up next week on SmackDown to help kick things off for WrestleMania weekend, your boys, your Tongans plus the one Samoan leader there. It looks like the family tree Civil War is about to erupt, Jimmy. We do have them in a 4-way against the Wyatt Six, again announced for SmackDown this next week. I don't got a lot to say. We did see on Raw, Tama kind of, would you call that not a total betrayal statement? I mean, obviously tensions are high there between the members of my family tree.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a betrayal, but it's definitely on the way of Solo obviously getting kicked out of the group or something like that. And you know what? It's the right thing to do. I love Solo, but I think let the Tongans sort of run their little group. But where do you go with Solo, though? That's the only thing that worries me. I know he's good, but can he sort of fly on his own at this point?
I think he has a better chance of being the lone bird, the wounded bird, trying to find his way than the Tongans do without him. He's their personality. He's their mouthpiece.
That's true. I agree. He's definitely their personality, 100%.
So, but another good thing is it's because we go to WrestleMania where new feuds begin, old feuds wrap up. It looks like we are going to get some closure finally here in the program between the Wyatts and the family tree.
Oh, definitely 100%. And I'm looking at what the vet said. They didn't know how to book Punk's injured friend. Apparently also, well, it's WWE. They don't know how to book anyone at this point. Let's be real, vet. We know that. We all know this. But we're trying to be positive going into Mania as well. So that's all I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a good Mania, and I don't want to be pissed off at it. Considering, how the promotions do, what they do. I mean, God, this is going to be refreshing, in my opinion, hopefully.
We also have announced to help kick off WrestleMania weekend coming up this Friday on SmackDown. It's going to be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I am a sucker for Battle Royals. They're my favorite gimmick match. Who you got? Who needs this one? Who do you got, Jimmy?
I would love if Danhausen's in it and he wins it. Just literally just let him win it, but he won't. And he probably won't be in it. I don't know,
You
man, who I've got.
just told us that you never want to see him wrestle.
I
You
know.
don't want to see him in
I
the ring.
said I
Now
don't
you
wanna
want him
see
in
him
there
wrestle,
against
but
19 people.
in this type of match, if they play the camera work right and him disappearing and all that, it can work. But Royce Keys, Cold Blood, is a great pick. There it is. That's who's gonna win it. He's gonna win 100%. Royce
I think,
Keys. I didn't think of that.
speaking of Royce Keys, that's why I saved him for this spot here. I knew the chat would be all over it. Absolutely my pick as well. He debuts last week on SmackDown in his home area there of San Jose, Shark City. So he makes his big debut, big pop there. It was kind of one of those things like, why are we debuting with 2 shows to go, a week away from Vegas, from WrestleMania? It just seems like one of those. We've seen him at the Rumble, but that was so long ago, kind of forgot he's done the spot there with Stephanie. That would have maybe been one of those big surprises for post WrestleMania, but I think it's a perfect spot here. Let's get him back out there. Hometown debut. Let's put him out there against 19 big bad dudes and have Royce Keys go over and get a big spot, win that Andre the Giant trophy.
100%. I mean, and it's the best way to actually introduce him to the masses as a whole. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, he's winning it. There's no ifs or buts about it. I can't see anyone else. It will definitely be Royce Keys. I just didn't realize, Rick, that he's already like 41, 42, which is crazy. I thought he was a lot younger than that, but yeah, it is what it is.
New to business, but hey, all of our guys outside of Obi that are in the big matches, the main events, they're all over 40. So we'll be all right. Speaking of some old dudes over 40 years old, let's talk about it. Let's get to our big main event representing SmackDown. It's going to main event night 1 of WrestleMania. They had some big developments here. Of course, I'm talking about Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton with Pat McAfee. McAfee, he was coming in hot here this past week, trying to kind of get that extra heat, that extra steam going into WrestleMania. He had a provision set up in place that nobody with WWE can touch him. So he's got a safe zone, got to go out there open mic with no repercussions. And he lays into him. He's telling him he is here to save the business. He is sick and tired of seeing what things have become. Everybody's a bunch of lip service, but not Pat McAfee. He made some phone calls. He got the deal done. His sponsor, Ram Trucks, is going to step up, and they're going to take off 25% of all WrestleMania tickets. That was through Friday, through the end of Raw, just for Saturday night when his boy was going to main event. Rest of the card, garbage. It's about Randy Orton. Cody comes out and kind of, a voice of many wrestling fans. It says, Pat, just go home. Nobody wants you here. You've been inserted into this thing for all the wrong reasons. Get the hell out of here. McAfee kind of fires back there. Hey, dipshit. I belong here. I should have been here the whole time. He just wasn't some Nepo baby head at this thing.
Right.
Jimmy, I know I said there at the top of the show, it wasn't necessarily Pat Mac, wasn't his message, but it did get me fired up more invested at WrestleMania because of how it triggered the audience. And what it means, especially to guys like us doing these shows, to get people talking, to be interested in the product. That mission accomplished. But all other factors considered here, Pat Mac's just seemingly out of nowhere. The role that he is playing, his message that he is delivering. Where are you at just a couple days away from WrestleMania with this whole thing?
I'm very indifferent to this, and really, I don't like it. Like, it's not even him. Who is he? Who is this guy? Like, really? Like I was saying, it gives me cheap Scott Hall vibes. All he's missing is a toothpick. If you had a toothpick, then we're off. We're on the road, basically. But he just comes across as forced. Like, why is he like, since when has he changed to be acting like this? Like, hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's acting weird, dude. Like, what is he? That's not him.
Well, even Cody kind of mentions that in their exchange. He kind of says, hey, man, you were just a guy a couple months ago who's standing on the desk eating, who's loving everything about the WWE. So the crowd involvement, putting over the talents in the ring. He mentions I should have called Gunther out here to choke you out again, to shut you up.
It's not
Looking
wrong.
at this entire situation and this feedback, and there's two perspectives. I fully was going to come into this show talking about, and I think Pat's doing a good job with what they're giving him. He's trying to get that across. At first, I was going to say this is just terrible casting. Pat McAfee isn't the bad guy, even in his world of sports talk. He isn't like a Stephen A. Smith, a Jim Rome type that comes out and just says controversial things, that tries to generate heat. Pat's always a positive guy. He puts things over. He has fun with it. He brings big energy to events. You see it at the game day shows. All those students, those fans that come out, that line up at 5 a.m. in the morning, will sit there all day just to be in the audience for the game day. It's him that's bringing that energy, that's firing them up, taking them to that next level. So it doesn't, and we saw it in wrestling. He's very positive. He puts things over. He's a party guy. He's good timing. You feel good when you're around him. So to just out of nowhere, insert him into this program as the heater, as the villain, because I know you were talking about all the wreckage with that. Like, it's just asinine. I mean, what idiot in what reality thought that Randy Orton was going to get booed? So they're trying to get someone to generate some heat for the heels here. But Pat McAfee is completely wrong in that dynamic. Now, before we went there, you and I were chatting. I said, hey, I'm going to take about an hour. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to kind of gather my thoughts. Go into, I mean, what better way to figure out professional wrestling is to go into nature, right? Just take a little walk. And so I started thinking about the message that he is relaying, what he is saying. And a lot of those things, even from that first promo, this ain't the wrestling I came up with. This isn't the hard-hitting, rugged, edgy attitude era. I'm not signing up to watch 5'5" guys put on Iron Man matches every week. So that message itself was really, he's saying a lot of things that guys my age say. My group says, it's not all wrestling. Is Pat McAfee intended to be that voice? And instead of bringing in someone from that era, someone maybe that is more of a traditionalist heel, maybe Pat McAfee is meant to represent a douche like me who has a podcast and is bitching about their product and how it's not like the Attitude Era. Right. He is playing my role and going out there and looking like a dork, and eventually he's going to get beat up because he puts out there that promise. If Randy Orton is not a 15-time champion, I'm leaving. I'm done. You will never see me again. That got a big pop. That fired up the audience to kind of, okay, you know what? Maybe we do want Randy to lose now because at least it gets rid of this character.
Yeah, well, if you come back acting like a complete douche for no real reason and just acting like he almost comes across also like Joker-esque even a little bit. Not the way he looks, but think of him going, like his acting is very weird, dude. Like he's like acting completely weird. That's why I'm saying like Scott Hall, there's a bit of Joker to him, but nothing to do with his look. It's just all he's acting, the way he's acting. And I know the Joker thing seems way far-fetched, but if you pay attention, you understand where I'm coming from when I say Joker, because he's tiptoeing a little bit. He's doing these type of movements. It's like there's no explanation on why he's back the way he is. Like, I need some more context about why he's here, why he's acting like that. But we get nothing. Instead, we just see him come back acting like a complete idiot, a complete someone else. It's not even Pat McAfee to me, who suddenly thinks he's Mr. Cool and thinks, and whoever, like if it's Ari Emanuel, whatever, thinks he's going to pop a rating or that Orton even needed him in this match in the first place. Does Orton and Cody need a Pat McAfee here for this match, in your opinion, Rick?
Well, there's no Pat McAfee. They also have a Jelly Roll as well.
Oh, yeah, that's even worse. Fuck.
Yeah, he confronts Pat as he's coming in. He's getting tough, man. Prison rules. You speak bad to me, man. Keep my name out of your mouth. And I fully expect that we're gonna have Jelly. We're gonna have Jelly officially added to some capacity, corner man or something to this match this Friday.
He's gonna turn. they're all going to turn. I see it, dude. I can just see it. It's going to happen. If Orton wins, I've got a feeling Jelly Roll is going to be part of this new Illuminati, Ari Emanuel, friggin' whatever you want to call this group in the future.
You're singing the same song. You're singing the same song that everybody sang last year. We're going to do World Order. We're going to do Corporation.
No,
that's what everybody was
NWA. I mean NWA. I'm not talking about NWO. That's not going to happen. Not the real NWO, but some sort of weird thing is going to happen. I just think, and then hopefully they thought far ahead that there's going to be a power that caused all this. Will they? I don't know. I bet Rick is Team McAfee. Absolutely.
I am. I am.
He loves McAfee. Yeah. I love McAfee
Absolutely.
too. I just don't like this version.
I do.
You like this one?
We got Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams with Little Yachty. We had this past week. Sammy, he kind of he addresses the crowd. He's out there. He said, "You know what? I see a bunch of you turning in on you. I see a lot of you don't want me in this role here, but I'm doing this for my ride or dies. I'm doing this for the ones that are with me. I split the audience before, but I've got my true fans out there." We got Trick and Carmelo. They had an exchange in the back. You know, Trick saying it. I know we got the history and all this, but this is my time. Melo's still a little pissed off. He's got that knee injury. Little Yachty, for some reason, throwing out challenges, making matches as Trick goes over on, I was going to say Zack Ryder, but Matt Cardona. We got some interaction in this thing. You know, I laid out last week on the Hitting Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. Catch it on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. right here on the platform. You know, a lot of people upset that Carmelo has been pushed aside. Go to this. Yeah, thanks for the months of carrying the ball there in the mid-card U.S. Championship Open Challenge. We're going to put you on the bench here for the big game. I don't really think it's not a knock on Carmelo. I think there is a test to see how he handles this thing. I don't think it's that we had to find a spot for Sammy. This is Tricky's time to shine. This is about him. I don't know if we needed the overuse of Little Yachty and all these, just introduce him for a little bit and then have him show up at WrestleMania for the big grand entrance. I think he's a little bit over here. He takes away a little bit, but this entire thing, this isn't about Sami Zayn. This isn't about Carmelo Hayes. To me, this is about Trick Williams. Where are you on this one? As we are a couple days away from it.
Well, first of all, we're going to have a new U.S. champion for sure. Surely, that's one thing. Two,
yes.
I'm cool with his placement in this match as far as Trick goes. I've got no complaints at all. I think the way they're booking him, I think is actually pretty well done for the time being. They'll probably screw it up, but we'll see. But as far as Melo goes, like you said, I mean, is it a big deal if he's not on the card? Do we really need to see him there? I mean, but he is on the card. It's the three-way, but does it really matter? Like, if he was placed somewhere else and whatnot, I think he's just going to be there to, you know, be in the middle of Sammy and Trick, and Sammy will eat the pin anyway, in my opinion.
What are you talking about? He's part of
the match, isn't he?
No.
Wait, he's not on the match? It's on a three-way? I thought it was going to be a three-way, so it's not. Oh, well, there you go. It's fine. Keep him off. It's no big deal, but it's not his fault. And it's nothing against him, to be honest. It's just, where do you fit him then? If he's not going to be in this match, where do you fit him?
He's not on the show. He doesn't need to be on. Hey, you know who loves three ways?
Uh-oh. Who?
She loves three ways, and she loves all things Cincinnati style, God's chili. She also loves three ways and cheese Cody's. That's Liv Morgan. She absolutely loves them. It's still Carmelo's out on the sideline for this one because they don't want him to take away any of the Trick spotlight. This is about Trick. It's his moment to shine. They don't want any sort of divide of cutting up that pizza pie.
Well, he's marrying, what's her name? Isn't he? Didn't he just propose to what's her name again?
What the hell does that got to do with anything?
Who knows? He could be going somewhere. But anyway, could he be helping Zayn even?
If you take a honeymoon or time off for a wedding at WrestleMania, you don't deserve to be in the business. Get the hell out. No, it's not a rumor. That's just stupidity.
Someone was saying that. Who was saying that, man, last week?
I don't know. Some moron?
Someone brought that up. But anyway, if that's true, I agree 100%. he doesn't deserve to be on the card. If not, yeah, we'll see.
No, he's not missing WrestleMania for a wedding or anything. He's just not needed. This is Trick's time to shine. That's what it's about.
100.
We got the unsanctioned. This is so dangerous that WWE doesn't want anything to do with this. Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. This is going to be a part of night one on ESPN2 this past week. Drew McIntyre cuts a very dangerous promo from a jail cell, going back to Fatu's roots, where he has been, where when his family needed him, his family was looking to be fed. When they were looking to be clothed and shelter, where was Fatu? He was in prison. He was locked up for crimes against society. But in McIntyre's mind, the most heinous crime that Fatu's ever committed was stealing the championship and a WrestleMania opportunity away from Drew McIntyre. And he's going to put an end to it. He is going to flat Jacob Fatu come this Saturday in Vegas. Fatu kind of fired back, say, hey, he knows made some mistakes, but he's here for the fight. He's going to rectify all that, and it starts with putting down Drew McIntyre in what's going to be one of the most vicious scenes ever in WrestleMania history. Hey, but I like the message here. I like the sentiment. Hey, in the chat, I don't know how many of you guys have ever been locked up before. I've spent some time behind some bars there. Not extensive, but I've been in a cell. I don't know what set they were on. That was like the nicest jail prison I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever been in one of those things? They are disgusting. Disgusting.
Well, first of all, I've been in a holding cell.
Have to eat in a bathroom at Waffle House. In a bathroom at Waffle House is nicer than what you're going to be in if you're in a local county lockup or a jail, or God forbid you have to go to a prison. But those things are disgusting. Wherever the hell McIntyre was at looked super nice.
Yeah, I bet you, like you said, there was probably somewhere in the back that they just filmed it and called it a friggin' lockup friggin' place. It looked too nice. I know, but why not have it dirty at least, or some shit? Like, make it seem more realistic. But they didn't bother because, you know what? I could picture Triple H saying, they're not going to give a fuck. They're not going to notice. Blah, blah, blah. All that bullshit. So, yeah, that takes you out of it a little bit, especially like you said, if you've been one, it already should take you out of it, though, Rick, automatically. But like you said, it looked the part, but it wasn't realistic either. So, and why would you go, and look, let's be real, if you were Drew, why would you go to a prison cell just to prove a point because Jacob Fatu was in prison?
Because it makes perfect sense. I love the imagery with it, and it's mind games. It's that mental phase of the war. Because if you're somebody that's done extended time, that is the most awful place that you've ever been, and you never want to go back to. You try to lock that deep down inside and suppress that as much as you can. You see someone mocking that, and it's someone that brings up that you should have been there for your family, but your wicked ways, your stupidity took you away from society. That's like the worst mental attack you could do to somebody.
I agree, but I don't know. Still, they could have done it a little bit better. Like, imagine this: it's an unsanctioned match, right? So what about if Jacob hurts absolutely punches the fuck out of Drew McIntyre? Mm-hmm. Realistically, just say he makes him bleed, makes him do whatever. Shouldn't he be sent to jail for assault?
Well, I think you sign away all those rights, when you agree to this thing. We're not going to be responsible for this. Jimmy, it's freak pro wrestling. Yeah, okay.
I know, but you know what? It's pro wrestling, but they simulate real life. So I'm just trying to, make the most of it and say, well, if you're going to do that, then make it more realistic. That's just me, though. But you're right. It's pro wrestling. We shouldn't even be shitting on that type of shit. You're totally right.
They've done a decent job in this build. We also had, and this one crosses over a little bit from SmackDown to Raw. We got some dual show promotion here this week for it. Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley. The good news, what we saw on SmackDown, Ripley takes out Munchies and B-Flop. So it looks like the baddies are out of this thing. They're out of this thing. Internet's head explodes in the main event when Jade Cargill, the champ, How could they? How could they? Beats up Io Sky, puts her down. Internet was hurting. Puts down Io. We saw that on Friday night, but we did see Io bounce back as she came to help out Rhea Ripley. She was still hurt. You could see she was grabbing her side there. She comes to help out Rhea Ripley. So I am interested. This brings up a bigger picture here. Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley. The baddies hopefully are gone forever. Hopefully I never have to see Butchies or Bebop on my screen again. But with it seemingly all the rumors saying that we are going to hold off on Asuka versus Io until Backlash, does that mean with the baddies hopefully gone, will the apartment wrestling C6, apartment C6 wrestling, will the Asian girls be in for the assist to get involved in this match to help cover up for Jade's poor wrestling ability at WrestleMania?
That's a good question. I doubt it because they seem to have their own thing going on, but I mean, maybe, you never know. But that wouldn't look cool. I reckon she should look at someone like an Nia Jax or something like that to do the dirty work.
Well, Jax is involved in her own thing.
I know, but so is
Io would be there to help. Jade's going to need to come up plan. She's already showed that. She's going to go underhanded. Why not recruit Asuka and carry that bit? Because you know that Io is going to be ready to go to be there at the aid of her friend, Rhea Ripley.
I guess you could do that. I still think Io is going to turn on Ripley, though. I don't know why I get that feeling, but I just do for whatever reason. And I keep saying this, and I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Tell me Asuka is not the fabulous Moolah, but a Japanese version. Outside of sex
trafficking and other crimes against humanity, I don't know if Asuka would want you to make that comparison. I actually had thought about that because you have been saying here for a couple of weeks that Io is going to turn on Ripley, and I've been having trouble processing it. I don't know how 5'5" anime girl gets the villain against a muscle bound killer like Ripley, but could we see in some kind of strange twist where everybody is assuming that they're going to have this big feud for the freedom of Kairi Sane? Could we see Apartment C6 Wrestling reunite as a stable?
Yeah, I do actually. I actually do see it happening. There's just little signs, even with Kairi, the way she's looking at Io, and she's like basically senpai, and then it shows, Io's just thinking about it, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Even before that, she's overly happy, dude. Like, it's almost manic depressive or almost the way she's overly happy. So I'm just getting a feeling. I just feel like that's what's going to happen. I could be way off. I could be really off. I don't usually make predictions like that, but I just got that feeling, man, because it'll be best for Jade Cargill if she gets the win. I don't see her getting it clean. There's no chance. That's not happening.
Yeah, and I know coming up this Thursday, we're going to kind of talk about who we're root for, do some winner predictions as we sit down with the other talking heads. We have our HMG Talking Heads Roundtable. Going to have the Fab Five together to talk about that. It's going to be 1 p.m. right here on the platform this Thursday. Check that out. But this is one of those tough ones. If I look at who should win, who do I want to win, that's a tough call. I am still really on that fence with being done with the Jade Cargill experiment.
You're not the only one.
Some people she has not improved whatsoever in the ring. I think she just kind of flatlined there. And I get it. Some people want to use that argument, but she looks like $1 million. She looks like a pro athlete, PR dream, but they have never utilized that. They've used her in any of those roles. And I've seen her in some of the ESPN app stuff that looked great and all that, but they haven't at all tapped into that potential with her, and she's doing nothing for the on-air product, especially that pairing there with the baddies had me completely ready to abandon ship. I'm kind of coming back to, I'll have the conversation if they're gone. Also with it though, what direction? I do see there is potential story there with Rhea and Io because they have that history. Rhea's never been able to beat Io, and if Io would come for that title, the interest there. It's just one of those things. I'm going to need something to really jumpstart me to get me interested in either side. I would probably put this match near the bottom when it comes to my interest level of what's happening here at the event.
Well, is it Jay's fault, by the way? I mean, I think it's the way she came on the interview and said, I want to wrestle more, but they're not making me wrestle more. This is where house shows come into play and could have actually helped the talent in this case. So I think it's WWE's fault that she hasn't picked it up.
I get there's the great use of the house show, getting in there in a live audience and understand. But how much time is she putting at the performance center? What are they working? Or her and Rhea should be down there every damn day, 8 hours a day, going through something right now for something of this stage. Are we doing that with her?
No, I agree. And that's a good question. We don't know. I saw her hanging out with Charlotte. Her and Charlotte are getting it on these days.
Yeah, they're out partying and all that.
What's up with that, bro? They're like besties and shit. I didn't even knew that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Charlotte's not been doing too much herself. Speaking of Charlotte, though, that's perfect transition because we're gonna just kind of worked on both shows. This has been back and forth because it's a traveling set of titles. But we have the women's 4-way tag team championship. The Irresistible Forces, Nia and Lash, are going to be defending against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, against Bayley and Bird Girl, Lyra. And question here, the big question mark is, will they be ready? I'm assuming they will. But the Bellas are scheduled for that match, with the rumor that the Kabuki Warriors might have been held off here a little bit for a late-minute substitution if needed. Jimmy, personally, this build to me has been off because it's been all about tit for tat, exchanging wins, and making it look like each of these teams individually were close to taking down your monster champs, when it should have been monster champs dominant over everybody. But let's put everybody into this to see if anyone can take advantage of the opportunity where the champs don't have to be pinned, or shock the world and pin one of the big champs. To me, that protects them. But they again have let down the forces here. They've had some moments there, but not enough where they've given up too much offense to these other girls.
I agree. I can see that 100% for sure. But like I said, I still want them to have a big killer run. But it is Mania, and the Bellas, are they going to do it? They're going to pull the trigger, you think, for sure, right? It just feels that way. But
well, inside of it, I could see a spit off with that, because it really seems like they've got some personal, because as we saw on SmackDown, Bayley in her hometown of San Jose picks up a big win.
Surprisingly.
No, wait a minute. No, did she? No, she did.
She did.
Did she? Or did Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did.
No, because she came back and cost Charlotte on Raw, and they said it was because of Charlotte's. So they're trading back and forth, but there seems to be a growing heat and resentment between those two teams, between Bayley and Bird Girl and Charlotte and Bliss. So it could be, those four girls could take each other out. They could be brawling outside, something going on. They're more worried about each other. And then a big mishap happens where the Bellas score a pinfall win. And because they were heavily putting that over. The twins have been together since birth, but this will be the first time, could be the first time, that they're tag team champions.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. And I'm just looking at the Bayley Bliss match. Oh, you're right. I think it was the week before that Bayley got the win, right? Correct? Or the Raw that week is when she got a win. And then lost.
She lost it because of Charlotte's distraction, and then came back and if you receipt, God, how they are using that term way too much.
The receipt,
get your receipt. Everybody's dropping it. Seth was dropping on right. Get your receipt. Got a little payback. Barely got her payback this week when Charlotte dropped the match to Lyra on.
That match sucked, dude. I'm talking about the SmackDown match with Charlotte. Or was it Raw? No, was it? Yeah, it was Raw. It was one Raw. Sorry, my bad. I just felt like we're not going there. Are we talking about that match right now?
Which one?
That you brought up Lyra and Charlotte.
Talk about it. Yeah,
we can.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I'm tying it all together here. We've got a little different flow this week because everything's kind of intertwined.
Well, then that's a good segue, because I felt that match absolutely was the drizzling shits. These two had no chemistry whatsoever.
I think this past Friday, especially this Monday, and what you're going to see Friday for anyone, I don't think we'll see anybody on the card actually getting real physical, or having matches. It's go out there and protect yourself right now.
Right.
You're not going to go out there and go full at it, full blast, because you do
Sure.
not want to get hurt and lose that spot, that opportunity right now. As you know, Nikki's been home resting that ankle to make sure she's ready to go there. But this one was fine. I just put it on the SmackDown side of things to balance out some of the conversation, but the tag division floats. So it's been going back and forth. But if you do, Jimmy, if you want to go ahead and switch it all over, we'll get a little Raw dogging. We'll switch some gears here and talk about
going in Raw, just like Liv has.
Hey, there we go. As we talk about the big matches that have been hyped for WrestleMania here on the Red brand, what better way to kick it off? Hey, you gave that big teaser at the start of the show here, Jimmy. CM Punk, Roman Reigns. You know, this has been for the most part, a verbal joust in the build. A lot of back and forth on the microphone. Has been, families getting involved. We have seen some physical altercations, people being put through tables. Each of them have gone through. Punk's been put down, put through a table. Roman's been put through a table. Last night on Raw, this is the final showdown, the final face-off between these two. We get the cold open that opens Raw. Roman with a pre-cut, and he's talking about, hey, you know what? It comes to this. This is the final showdown here before I put you down at WrestleMania. Punk, I'm going to give you one opportunity at the close tonight to tell the truth, or Roman says he will tell the truth. That's a cold opening. What was the stupid cold opening cut on Roman Reigns? Right. I'm the tribal chief. And who the hell thought that? I mean, that's just like you have this serious, cut right to it. Like knife to the heart. You could feel that energy coming through, and then they try to ham it up at the end of it. It didn't even seem like it was Roman's voice. It sounded like it was like an AI generated thing.
What did it say? The following announcement.
I am and I approve this message.
Right, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, that made me laugh. I was just like, what the hell? That is silly. Whoever did that, they fire the guy, please. I don't even know why Roman would have even agreed to that. That was corny, and it just does not suit him at all for him to say that.
To me, it didn't even really say. It took me out of all right, this is pretty good. And I'm like, what the hell was that?
Yeah,
it sounded like an AI generated.
They fucked it, dude. They
Roman Reigns thing. But all right, so that's his message. So then at the end of Raw, Roman's coming to the ring. He's starting to acknowledge me. Hit CM Punk's music. Cult of Personality, rocking the place. Arena is hopping. Punk comes through the crowd. He's making his way, and he's soaking. He is just soaking it all in, baby. He's sinking in. He's out there with his people. As he approaches the ring there, he takes some time. He even goes up, gets on the table, kind of just draw it in. I kind of like this because we're building towards this thing. We're not just getting at it. You're getting that suspense. You're getting that momentum rolling forward with it as he does make his way up the apron. Roman says, hey, you step into this rope, step into this ring. We're not using those microphones. Right. So Punk kind of hesitates. He starts cutting some of that promo on the outside of it. And his message, Punk's kind of message here is, stop me when I'm lying.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, he starts talking about, he does hate. He hates Roman Reigns.
Hates everything about him.
Hates everything about it, but he also hates that CM Punk himself envies Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
that he has got to be on top of the business for as long as he has. That he got to be champion for 1,300
days. Yeah,
certain days. That he's got to main event WrestleMania as many times that he has.
Hates him for it.
He even envies the great family that he's had. That there's more than one royal family in professional wrestling. And he has envied all of that. But in the end of it all, it's because, Punk had to fight and scratch and claw for everything that he's had. Because where Roman had that royal family that was selected, anointed to have all these opportunities, it was CM Punk who had to find his own path. That had to come up from the streets through the indies to work every VFW, every Knights of Columbus, every bowling alley. No matter where those shows were going, that's where he went. That's where he found his family and his support. And that's why they're standing here. On the other side of that, Roman kind of says, in a truth in his side is he didn't need that shit. He's not ashamed of how he got to where he's at. He's not ashamed of that money. And come Sunday night, he's going to put Phil down.
Pepsi Phil.
Pepsi's out, baby. Pepsi is out. So let me ask you here. So this is a little bit of a different direction from these two. Instead of I'm the most popular. The locker room loves me. I'm the more over. That's what we've got.
I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah, this has been a different direction here. So two questions here for you, Jimmy. Did this promo? They also, show in that cold open where Punk being called out, like I care about the people. So I'm only here for the money. We're just going back. So does this final showdown face off? Punk comes clean, or is he a hypocrite? And did this make Roman feel a little bit more heel in this match to you?
You know what? They're both a little heelish in some ways, man, to be honest with you. But yeah, it did give Roman the more heelish edge. But as far as the promo goes, I'm going to say it straight out. I think this was not his idea. I thought he phoned in this promo, Rick.
Who?
Punk. Just his delivery was off to me. He was very monotone. If you pay attention to that promo, he's like, I hate you.
I didn't pick that up at all.
Really? There was no passion in it this time, dude. I don't think he even believed in what he was saying. That's how I took it. For whatever reason, I took it that way. It felt that way. I don't think he even wanted to say those words. That's not something his character would say, to be honest with you, Rick. Since when does he come out and say, I'm jealous of fucking this or jealous of that? That's a heel thing to say, first of all, right? And as far as the delivery just seemed off. I think
it was. No, I read that more as, when you come out, because it is, you had all these things. I envy that you had those. Right. But I hate you because of how you got them.
I get that.
I had to work my ass off in life, and you've been handed things. Everything that Roman has accomplished, Punk has won it. But he didn't have an opportunity to have it handed to him.
I get that, but it just didn't feel like he was saying it well enough. I feel like he was, I don't want to say boo-boo face a little bit, but I could be the only one that thinks that way. But something.
I don't know, chat, let us know. I didn't feel that way at all about it. I thought it was pretty good in the delivery.
Please, chat. Like, I want to know if I'm onto something, because for me, it just didn't seem right. And if Artis thinks it's a Roman win all over it, he wouldn't be too impressed by that either. I don't think in real life. But it is pro wrestling, so I don't know. But there was a second question you asked me, and I forgot it. It left my mind. But you said about Punk, the second question particularly.
Oh, I thought more of this. It made Roman more of the heel. That last kick down the home stretch.
I felt like the fans were more into Roman though, between the two of them. If you were hearing, OST chants over and over, and plus, I really couldn't tell who the babyface was.
You see, like when Punk was coming over the wall, he jumped the wall, and you had that drunk chick in the back with that OTC, like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, what was that, dude? She had the beer in her hands as well. And she like, what the hell was that?
He's all flopping out, Roman, and he's like, "You're old."
I forgot about that too. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I did see that.
That was funny. It really, outside of their verbal exchanges, really haven't done a lot to get me invested in this thing. But
not this one.
Where I do care, where I do see this, it is an old dog. It's an old dog, an old regime versus Roman in the corporate machine. So I find myself a little bit swaying towards Punk there. Hopefully these guys go kill that there. Speaking of, give us an explanation. Give us a reason. That's what we've been asking for 2 weeks now. Gunther versus Seth Rollins. Gunther does come out. He gives us a little explanation, just saying, as he's been the workhorse, the ring general for all these years, it's Seth who also gets these opportunities like Roman, who has things handed to him. It's Seth not really fully embracing his position, being able to run with it. He cuts that big promo there. So, Jimmy, did you buy Gunther's explanation? Did this help fire up any interest Inside Big Jimbo for Gunther Seth Rollins.
You know what did fire? Maybe not so much his reasoning, but what did fire me up is when Rollins actually called him like to come to the ring. If you're so bad, come say it to my face, whatever the bloody. And he no buts about it. He runs to the ring, absolutely touches foreheads, and the way he pushed him with his head, I thought that was great. That was great stuff. The only thing that threw me off, the amount of spit that was going in Rollins' mouth with his mouth open. I was like, close your mouth, please, bro. Just close your mouth. But in all honesty, though, I did like this. The way Gunther delivered this, it was all Gunther for me, man. This felt like $1 million the way he did it. Do I agree with it? Not exactly with how we came to this match, but this past Raw did make me get even more interested to see what's going to happen in this match. I think Gunther is the man right now, dude.
I think this is one of those great ones. I think as we go into WrestleMania, we want that full story. It's just as fans, we're kind of hungry for that full story. We want to get fully invested in every match. This is one of those. This could be a great match. This could be the one that we're talking about from bell to bell afterwards. But this is also one where there's the intrigue of what happens, pun intended here, with the backlash. What's going to be the fallout? Right, yeah. This is one of those stories we're going to look forward to. We've heard that Braun Breaker has been cleared. Will he make his return there? Could he be a wild card inside this? Where is this all leading? This is one of those fun matches for me at WrestleMania. We talked about earlier the Intercontinental Champion. Big match down in Mexico this past weekend. Well, he's getting ready for a big match this weekend. Could be a part of that ESPN big distribution night 2 first hour free. Talking about Penta defending the Intercontinental title in the 6-pack challenge. Also going to be inside of that, the Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, the OG rookie, the sensation Javon Evans. You got you got Donahue, JJ McDonough, and Rusev. How about Rusev last night on Raw, looking dominant? Dragon, they had the big tag match there, but Dragon Lee picks up the win. But Rusev, man, taking everybody's heads off, and he's standing tall with all the high flyers laid out there at the end of that match.
He looked impressive, and I don't even know why. Because are we going to do something with Rusev moving forward, do you think?
It's a message to go, if somebody's looking at this, you're going to get a lot of this footage getting shown this week on ESPN. And that's a great image. And you see all these like underdog types, these high flyers, especially Rey that everybody relates with is pro wrestling's ultimate underdog, the ultimate David story. So in a match that has 5 smaller guys here, the high flyers, the big spot guys, who is the Goliath? Who is the monster that's going to go in there and cause the most damage in this demolition derby? It's Rusev. So you want to paint that picture, and that's going to be his role. He's the one that's going to be hitting, not receiving those big devastating spots. He's going to be the one that's generating the power behind them.
Absolutely, 100% agree with you. That's why he's in this match. Will he win it though? I doubt it, but
I don't think so at all. But you gotta give him that odds. You got to remind us who Rusev is. I mean, for God's sake, they announced this match with Penta on Raw. We thought that was the announcement. They were already holding qualifying matches on Main Event. None of us had any idea about it.
They didn't even talk about them that happened on Main Event. Pretty much. I mean, I know it's weird. Is that even shown in the US? By the way, Main Event.
Scotty Woodford swears it is. He watches it on Tubi or LubeMe or something like that. I don't know what it is. But I know it's an international show. He swore we were going to hit the marks in the live chat that he watches it, but none of us could find it. But yeah, but hey, the ladder match is going to be a fun demolition derby for ESPN. So we just look forward to those big spots. We also got the Vision versus LA Knight in the Usos. That's going to be that's going to be the whole kickoff for WrestleMania. Last night, LA Knight and the Usos, they team up to take on your boys, My Family Tree. We talked a little bit about that in that story. That was just kind of a fun highlight match. Let's not get anybody hurt out there. Last night.
The Usos now got their old theme back.
That other one sucked. We called that right away. Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought that was a good idea to do that, especially right before WrestleMania? Get rid of that entrance.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
That's half the selling point. At WrestleMania, the biggest stage of the year, huge crowd at Raiders Stadium, all yeeting. And look, I'll switch that up about 2 weeks before. Whose brilliant idea was that?
Idiots. That's who.
Speaking of whose brilliant idea was that? I'm sorry, I could be way off. But how bad was that training package with Speed in the Vision earlier? It was so. Get me 80s training montage. They just were missing the 80s music, and oh my god. So now, instead of like showing us where like he trained with Randy Orton, that he does what has aspirations of being professional. Nope, he learned all of that, Jimmy, in either the afternoon or the 2-minute montage now he's ready. Now he's ready to conquer the world. He's ready to go in there against one of the greatest tag teams of their generation, multi-time champs, the Usos, and one of the most over-dominating guys in, workhorse guys in the WWE. Yeah, Ellie, now he's ready after the 2-minute montage, Jimmy.
Wow, he's ready after the 2-minute montage. Well, can you do a 2-minute montage for me then, Rick?
Yeah.
And then maybe I could be ready too to be at WrestleMania for yeah, I don't know, Rick. This is a bit corny and cheesy for my liking, but hey, it's pro wrestling, right? You can do that shit. So why not? Whatever. But good luck to him, I guess.
We're looking for the PR. We got the influencers opening at WrestleMania.
Right.
We got
I will say quickly, one more thing. He has been training for months. Orton has been one of his teachers when he was out more recently, and it's on YouTube. He's been training every day at the Performance Center. So he's ready, believe me.
And here's the other thing that I hate with that training video that they showed us. Like they're using the crash pad.
Yeah,
like
that's
they're
true.
No.
I know, but when you practice flips, how else are you going to do it though?
And don't show that. Edit the crash pad out.
You're right. It's true.
It's not unreal. You're not showing. It's not tough enough. You're supposed to say it's legit shit, and they're showing the crash pad. I don't get it there.
They're idiots, bro.
We do get it official. We asked last week. We weren't sure what was going to happen with it. It was on the poster, but it's been made official. We get the vignette last night. It is the return of the Demon. First time in years, the Demon versus Dirty Dom. Are you ready for the Demon? Because it seems like Dom is not. He said, I didn't sign up for this. I signed a contract to face Finn Balor. He said the Demon was dead. I did not sign a contract to face the Demon. Going to be a big entrance. Going to be a big pop.
The Demon Finn Balor is back. Repo, man.
I had to do that because. But yeah, am I happy and excited? I don't know. I'm a bit indifferent to it, sort of, because we haven't seen it for a long time. But it's one of those things that I have to see it first again and see how I feel about it. Because if he's not really into it, because he apparently doesn't want to do it anymore, but here we are, he's bringing it back. I don't like the fact that they showed us last week already. They pretty much gave it away. I know Finn was alluding to it in the promo last week about the Demon, but still it wasn't clear cut. This time we got told that he's there. I guess that's all that matters. And I guess the Demon, which is pretty obvious, will get the win anyway over Dom.
Yeah, I think that kind of does give it away. You can't have, the return of the Demon.
Right.
I see it a little different. Instead of just having the Demon as a surprise, you're looking for a little extra spice for this match. It would have been nice maybe if there was a championship, and that's what the Demon is. It's an extra selling point.
Right, absolutely,
to get you more excited about the character in a new direction there for Finn Balor. Talk about not excited at all. I'm sorry here. There's a few AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
You're not excited about that?
The only thing I positive say about the build of this thing is thank God someone made the decision to stop giving these ladies live microphones and start doing backstage stuff. I mean, none of it's been good, but at least it's tolerable a little bit with the backstage stuff. A lot of people in IWC have been talking about, missed opportunities, how you couldn't find spots on the card for like a Tiffy, for a Julia, for especially
Tiffy fucking right now
for Asuka versus Io. If you're going to replace any match, I would have done it. I would have replaced this match. I don't see the value in this thing at all. I don't think Bex is as over as she once was. Her star power has diminished. I think they greatly misjudged the overall draw of AJ Lee. Every time she comes out here, I write in my notes, has she always been this bad, either in the ring or on the microphone? And
you know why?
This build has just been terrible.
It has been terrible, but you know why she looks bad? Because the women that she was wrestling back then were so bad that she looked so good. And then now she's actually up against women that can actually go. It exposes her in every sense, dude. I feel so. It's a bit of both, in my opinion. But yeah, no, this match is just again, two crybabies, especially Becky. It just comes across as childish and immature, this stupid feud. And it's just sad because on paper it looks intriguing, right? If you're a women's, that's why I was going to put a asterisk to it. If you're a women's wrestling fan, the match on paper looks intriguing. If you're not, then you couldn't care less about it, as Vic doesn't care at all.
I think if you're a women's wrestling fan, it looks even less intriguing. We're talking about women's wrestling, a match that I am very excited for. I put us near the top of the matches I'm looking forward to. I've liked the build to it and all that. We got Stephanie Vicaire defending her women's championship against pop star Liv. We said we might get that big entrance with her new music video that dropped. I've loved that these two, even going back, where we had to sit down, I think it was kind of weird when Liv was crying. I think right there they realized, okay, this didn't hit. Maybe they thought they had a good idea. It looked more like Telemundo soap opera than anything. Realized it didn't hit. But since then, I mean, these two girls have been on site. I mean, it has been just, we're going to go out there and get after each other. And I have freaking loved every bit of it. It's from the fight in Gorilla to last week, my lovely lady lumps. This week, Stephanie's going out there with Kathy Kelly. I like the kind of the little running joke that they did where Liv hits her from behind and now hits her into somebody else. And yeah, Kathy Kelly take the big bump. I think this is another one. If they let these two go out there, get after it, I think this could be one of those matches that we're like, wow, that overperformed. That was one of the top matches of the event.
100% agree. Absolutely. And the match is going to be something else, man. After what we saw on Raw, the way Liv was acting too, I loved it, dude. She was screaming like she was angry, bro. Like she was like ready to rip heads off at this point. And I think that was great that she actually did that. I don't know if anyone told her to be that way or she improvised and done it herself. Man, she was in tears at one point. I don't know if you noticed, but she had tears coming down her face as she was screaming at one point.
Was that acting class? Was she angry or hangry?
That was a bit of a strain there, Rick. It was like
yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I can't stop laughing at that, man.
Which of all the women's matches are you looking forward to the most?
Well, before this incident happened on Raw, I would have said probably Jade and Rio, and even that, did I say Rio? I mean Rhea, not Riho. Was my most hyped women's match, and even that has been the build has been caca, bro. It's been pretty bad. Let's be honest. Yeah. But now with this, what we saw on Raw with Liv Morgan and Vicaire, I'm looking forward to this one. This is the match of the women. Out of all the women, this is the match, man. And Liv needs a win, I feel like. She needs
hands down for me.
100%.
Absolutely. Hands down for me. I'm up in the air. I'm up in the air on a winner for this thing. That's what I love about it. You don't really know the direction. I think it's going to be a great match, a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. I would say the women's tag is my second that I'm looking forward to when it comes to the ladies sides of things. Talking about looking forward to big matches. Big matches. Let's talk about the real main event of WrestleMania 42 back to Vegas. Vegas vacation. It's going to air free Sunday night, kicking things off 6 p.m. Eastern, ESPN. Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar. I know you're excited for this one, Jimmy, but you and I have debated for a couple of weeks the build on this. As I was out in nature today, gathering my thoughts, I dedicated some time to this, and I feel confident right now to tell you that I would give this thing on RBV Tomatoes. I would give this thing a score of 90% that they've gotten this entire build right. Even going back to when you guys say they gave away too much to start this thing off, I would completely disagree with it in the hindsight to see what they have played the rest of it out with and the impact that opening engagement had with them. Jimmy, I'll let you go ahead and start talking. We'll kind of discuss this here, what you've liked, what you didn't like about this build between Oba and Brock.
The build started off extremely strong, like we were saying. Like the very first interaction was just awesome, dude. Even though I still had reservations, but if you put a lot of the shit aside, it was still awesome. Then the second week came along, there was still a lot of how can I say, whose dick is bigger type of deal going on.
We had a clothesline. We had a clothesline that second week.
And then the third week we had chairs flying around, tables getting thrown. There was all sorts of shit going on, and that felt real. It felt like these two really wanted to rip their heads off of each other. I love that. And then we had, formal Femi come out with his Versace shirt. He's rocking his jeans. He signed the contract. I don't know if this was a good sort of interaction with him and Hamin, but
I thought, real quick, to go back to that very first again, I know the reservations and everything in classic wrestling booking says you're going to talk them into that big fight. And did you give away too much by hitting the fall from grace? I think normally that old mindset works, but right now we are so used to Brock Lesnar dominating other individuals. It's rare that anyone gets that close to him. So to me, this was kind of like we're coming out at a football game and we're gonna throw Hail Mary. We're going for a touchdown right out of the bat. That doesn't take away the rest of the game from me if we win at the end because we came out with the big play. This is what got people talking because it was how impactful it was to see that happen to Brock Lesnar. We don't see that happen to Brock Lesnar. He's not eating finishers like that. And it's rare to see somebody stand there with their foot on his chest. What a moment that is. And it wasn't a 3 count. And you look what it did, just not for WWE talking about it, not for their socials. It got picked up. It was a crossover. ESPN, Fox Sports, TMZ, all those major outlets, Entertainment Tonight, they were talking about that. Oh my God, one of the premier, biggest draw combat sport athletes in the world, Brock Lesnar involved. And look at this dude he's taking on. This guy's a professional athlete himself, great collegiate athlete. I mean, it was a spectacle to be seen. Since then, as you said, we saw the clothesline, we saw the brawls, the pull aparts, things like that. So we've intensified to that nature. I liked how they handled last night. They set the thing. We got to keep these two apart. If we're going to have this match, we can't have these two near each other.
Now, absolutely, they did the right thing in that sense.
Lesnar and gets the hell out of there. And I thought, last night it was short, it was sweet. I felt it. It felt genuine. The promo that Oba Femi cut, he sounded like I would think like a Nigerian ruler, dictator, war general would sound. He demanded that respect. He sounded confident in his message that he was going to deliver on what he was saying. It was short, it was sweet, right to the point there.
Yeah, no, it was well done, and it was meant to be done the way it was done. Now that we're on the road to WrestleMania, I enjoyed it. I just feel is Hamin doing too much at this point with so many things? I mean, they're making him do so much, man. But he's the man still to do things, don't get me wrong. But I just think he's overdoing himself just a little bit. I wonder if he agrees to everything in general. Yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. And he's more than happy to do it. You think so?
Hamin's one of those guys who he's a master chess player. He's putting his pieces and covering the board where he wants. He's involved with exactly who he wants to be involved with. He's seeing big spots on this show. He is the master mouthpiece that's going to help sell, put these things over. Remember back in the day, how many times did we see the same manager go to the ring with somebody? He would be representing all the big heels. Jimmy Hart had his entire crew out there. You'd see Slick a couple times.
Yep.
So it's very common to see that. And I kind of like how they've kept most of them separate, where they don't kind of intertwine. Like you don't see Brock with the Vision.
No, you don't, not at all, which is good.
And I even liked it, a little bit there that Paul said, once you feel the power of the Conqueror, once you feel the power of Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, and you need to rebuild yourself at this young point in your career, my door will be open. I'll even do business with you. I thought that was kind of big. Again, this match is going to be big. We're going to talk about it a lot more coming up this Thursday. We're going to have a lot of fun this Thursday at 1 p.m. here on the platform. The Talking Heads Roundtable. Going to be Jimmy T, me. Let's go, Brandon. How about a little MSG? You could be doing double duty that day. He's got the locker room in the morning and us in the afternoon. And, of course, the one, the only, Big Ray, got to be weighing in on all of these matches. We're going to be talking Hall of Fame, attractions, night 1, night 2, sharing who we're rooting for, who we think's going to win, and a little bit more deep dive. So a little bit extra special. We hope everybody joins us for.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. And I'm looking forward to that. As a matter of fact, I can't wait. 1 p.m. It's going to be good. There's going to be quite a few of us. So I'm really hyped up. And I'm the kangaroo, in case anyone doesn't know.
No one even asked who the kangaroo was. Everyone's known.
I was still pumped when I watched the video because you did it so exactly like the WrestleMania commercial. It made me laugh even more, man. And then we all end up around the table. That was great, man. I was clapping to that, Rick. So kudos to you for that, man. So, yeah, I am looking forward to it. I can't wait to see all the other boys, too, and see what they thought. Is Juggernaut available that day too? I assume. I
didn't want to cloud the room. So I just the guys, the workhorses that have been doing it here for the better part of the year. True. So
you're all right. I mean, come on, he's been around for many years, but yeah, I get where you're coming from, man. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it, Rick. It's going to be a good and fun afternoon, shall I say? Yo, you're frozen, Rick. You were frozen there for a split second.
I'm here. I don't know what the hell's happening here. Yeah, go ahead and get us out of here.
All right. Well, since the internet is failing us right now, and we have spoken quite a bit, I think it's time we bid you all adieu in saying now, I am Jimmy T. He is my co-host, R to the B to the V, and you've been listening and watching This Week in WWE live on Hamin Media Group's YouTube channel and on Patreon right after the show ends. But till Thursday, peace out. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. See yous.